Let's see if we can find out. Okay, between one half and 2/3 of white immigrants to the American colonies. Let me say it again. Between one half and 2/3 of white immigrants to the American colonies between 1630 and the American Revolution had come under indentures. They were slaves. It wasn't the niggas over here slaves. I keep telling y'all this, and y'all keep falling for the okie doke. White people was the slaves. We was the freedmen. And the Treaty of Peace and Friendship that the Moors signed was to undermine the Commonwealth, in which we was bailing these motherfuckers out. Now watch this. However, while almost half the European immigrants to the 13 colonies were indentured servants, now let me say it again, half the European immigrants to the 13 colonies were indentured servants. At any one time, they were outnumbered by workers who had never been indentured or whose indenture had expired, and thus free wage labor was more prevalent for Europeans in the colonies. Indentured people were numerically important, mostly in the region from Virginia north to New Jersey. Other colonies saw far fewer of them. The total number of European immigrants to all 13 colonies before 1775 was about 500,000 or 500,000. Of these, 55,000 were involuntary prisoners. I told y'all this was a POW camp. They were involuntary prisoners. Of the 450,000 or so Europeans arrival who came voluntarily, Tomlins estimate that 48% were indentured. About 75% of these were under the age of 25. The age of adulthood for men was 24 years, not 21. Those over 24 generally came on contracts lasting about 3 years. Regarding the children who came, Gary Nash reports that many of the servants were actually nephews, nieces, cousins, and children of friends of immigrating Englishmen who paid their passage in return for their labor once in America. Several instances of kidnapping for transportation to the Americas are recorded, such as the of Peter Williamson. A historian, Richard Hofstadter, pointed out, although efforts were made to regulate and check their activities, and they diminished in importance in the 18th century, it remains true that a certain small part of the white colonial population of America was brought by force. A much larger portion came in response to deceit, lies, and misrepresentation on the part of the spirits, the recruiting agent. They call them spirits. This, you can't make this shit up. Deceit and misrepresentation on part of the spirits. The recruiting agents was calling them spirits. One spirit named William Thien was known to have spirited away. Now look at it, use these spirited away 840 people from Britain to the colonies in a single year. Historian Lerone Bennett Jr., right, before the Mayflower, Fortune the Glory about Benjamin Franklin, notes that masters given to flogging often did not care whether their victims were black or white. It was white folks on the plantation. I've been telling y'all this for day one. The white boy is used as a pawn. They innocent victims using white supremacy. Y'all have jumped on that. If there was black supremacy, you niggas would have jumped on it too. Indentured servitude was also used by various English and British governments as a punishment for defeated foes in rebellions and civil wars. I can't make this shit up for y'all. I've been telling y'all what's going on. If y'all can't see it now, I don't know what's going to help y'all. Look, the American Revolution severely limited immigration to the United States, but economic historians dispute its long-term impact. Sharon Salinger argues that the economic crisis that followed the war made long-term labor contracts unattractive. His analysis of Philadelphia's population shows how the percentage of bound citizens fell from 17% to 6.4% over the course of the war. What the fuck war? He talking about the American Revolutionary War. But they just told you up here, civil wars and rebellions, they punished them by the English and British government punished them by putting them into bondage. It's telling you. This shit ain't no secret. So I'm going to back off of this because this has made the point clear. You lost the war. Some people was put in bondage on 13 colonies. The 13 colonies, also known as the 13 British colonies or the 13 American colonies, were a group of colonies of Great Britain on the Atlantic coast of America founded in the 17th and 18th century, which declared independence in 1776 and formed the United States. Matter of fact, let's go to this. Let's go to the colonies. Because y'all need to understand who the colonists were. Right? They got all looking all sideways at Thanksgiving. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing about what they told us. Now watch this. The 13 colony, also known as the British colonies, American colonies, were a group of colonies founded in the 17th century, which declared independence in 1776 and formed the United States of America. Contrary to what y'all think, this is not where we at or where we practicing at. We practicing at a place called this. This part has been, Amur Inc. has been took off. All right, the 13 colonies had very similar political, constitutional, and legal systems and were dominated by Protestant English speakers. They were part of Britain's possession in the New World, which also included colonies in Canada, Florida, and the Caribbean. Now, this is because the brother Rasquito asked me to talk about the islands, and this is what we're doing today. We're going to the Caribbean with this information. This is where we headed. Between 1625 and 1775, the colonial population grew from 2,000 to 2.4 million, displacing American Indians. I can't make this shit up. The population included people subject to a system of slavery, which was legal in the colonies prior to the American Revolutionary War. In the 18th century, the British government operated in its colonies under a policy of mercantilism, in which the central government administered its possessions for the economic benefit of the mother country. Now look, mercantilism is a national economic policy that is designed to maximize the exports, minimize the imports of a nation. These policies aim to reduce the possible current account deficit or reach a current account surplus. They're talking about the money, but they're using the word current, which is the root word to currency. They're talking about money. Mercantilism is the way that you can put yourself in a superior trade position in order to subdue somebody else economically. Now watch. The 13 colonies had a high degree of self-governance and active elections, and they resisted London's demand for more control. Now watch this. The French and Indian War against France and its Indian allies led to a growing tension between Britain and the 13 colonies. Now remember, I told y'all that the colonists allied with the native, right? They showing you here, France, before they turned and killed the Templar over there, they was an ally. So then in the 1750s, the colonies began collaborating with one another instead of dealing directly with Britain. This is what you call your Continental Congress. These intercolonial activities cultivated a sense of shared American identity that led to calls for protection of the colonists' rights of Englishmen, especially the principle of no taxation without representation, in which they show you your false Continental Congress. Grievances which British government led to the American Revolution, in which the colonies collaborated in forming a Continental Congress. The colonists fought the American Revolutionary War with the aid of France and, to significantly smaller degree, the Dutch Republic and Spain. Now remember, these are Moors. Dutch, Portuguese, Spanish, those were Moors. The seafarers were Moors. Right? It goes into the New England colony, the middle colony, the southern colonies. But where they at on the map? Let's look at the map, because we got to see the map of where the colonies was, and then you can see how they dispersed them throughout the country in order to confuse the rest of us. This our shit. We was here first. Now look, these are your original 13 colonies. This right here and everything west, right? Everything west, they had nothing to do with this. This is the promised land right here. All this back here is what they call, it was supposed to be off limits. It's supposed to have been off limits. So now, all of these indentures that came from Europe, you got to go back to your history. What they tell you, the undesirables came from Europe. All your undesirables came from Europe. The brothels was emptied out. The prisons, the dungeons was, they didn't have prisons. You right? They fighting over some shit that ain't theirs. All right, now let's go. We got to find out who the imposters is now. All right, look. Remember we showed you that? That's a kid. We went there. Went there. Look. Now this black lady right here, her name is Joan Arch, Archduchess of Austria. And she was the second daughter of the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V and served as regent of Spain for her brother King Philip II of Spain upon his marriage to Queen Mary I of England. The joint title was Philip and Mary, by the grace of God, King and Queen of England, Spain, France, Jerusalem, both Sicilies and Ireland, defenders of the faith, archdukes of Austria, dukes of Burgundy, Milan, and Brabant, counts of Habsburg, Flanders, and Tyrol. This just told you all of the Moorish Empire, right? They just claimed everything that the Moors had conquered. Now, I got to find out what year this is. Let's see if we can find out some more stuff. Look, that nappy hair? See that nappy hair? They're telling you. Look. Carlos Quentin, top right, first European king of the Inca. Do he look white? Also known as Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. Right here. Now look, this is the real emperors look like this. These are the imposters. Only difference is hair texture. Look, this is a blackamoor. In Spain, this is Cordoba. Prophet Daniel. Russian depiction. Look how dark he is. Look at the hair. Prophet Elijah and Elias. 1423, 1424. No mistake about it, them niggas. Ain't no mistake about it. You can't confuse them. Look. In the Alhambra, Rudolf Ernst. These are Moors. Alhambra. They got an Alhambra temple in the shrine. Look. This prince also wears around his neck another type of cross of the Teutonic Knights. You can't make that shit up. They call that the Iron Cross. Look. The Order of the Brothers of the German House of St. Mary in Jerusalem. Or a cross of the Portuguese Templar Knights, which would be red. Can't make this shit up, people. I'm just going to run through this shit because this is all of the facts is already here. They tell you what it is. But nobody wouldn't put it together for you, so I guess I'll do it. Look, this is the coinage. This is 373. Oh. 1792. My bad. That was time the number of coins. 1792. Look at the hair. Right? Look at the coin. Look at him. Now he look European. He look African. But this say Jews ruled Europe. This is black royalty. Look. The three kings, remember? The red, The red lodge, the blue lodge, right? And I'm not, that green cloak. They up, look at the white flag, the flag of peace. Look at it. Y'all need to see this shit. I'm not making this shit up. What do you when you at war, what do you do with your white flag? You see it? It's all rolled up. It's not in use. They finna declare war. This is the plot to declare war. How do you know? He have his war implements out. His sword is out. They got the flag of peace rolled up. They not finna use that motherfucker no time soon. Right? Look, he got his hand on his dagger. Look, on his sword. They getting ready for war. They discussing a war plan. Right? Now, take y'all a little bit further. We went over this one already, which shows you the emperors all the way down to the European. This bust is Africans who ruled Europe from 711 to 1782. It's a depiction of one of them. I can't read this, it's too blurry. These were your Zionist Moors. These are the ones that did the dirt. These are the ones that used the Babylonian money magic and the Gulam to undermine us. Look. That look like a white boy to you? He even got tribal markings on his forehead right here. You know? Look at the lips. Look at the eyes. Don't no white boy look like that. You don't care if you chip the nose off or not. Look, all of these. Painting in Larco Museum in Lima, Peru. The painting depicts the Incan emperors and the subsequent European emperors of the Inca. And if you notice, white boy, nigga. This Jesus. Black Jesus right here. See that? Crown, cross, black. This is all, this can be looked up. This picture is called Black African Nobility Ancient Europe Culture Nigeria. Right? Look. This is a black Jew. This is what jewelry is named after. The black Jews is who jewelry is named after, or they're named after the jewelry they wore. Look, see the chess piece? Blue Lodge. Look at the checkerboard. Remember, it's supposed to be black and white. Look at it, red and white. Look, see the black piece turned over? Black piece, white piece, white piece. Look what he's holding. A white knight. He's holding a white knight because when you go back to Revelations, the white horse means to conquer. But look at his hand. 6, 6, 6. Goddamn satanic Jewish Moor. Right? He's pretending to be from the Blue Lodge, but he's playing on the Red Lodge board. The red and white is the Red Lodge. Right? The black and white is what you call your middle pillar, and the black and red is the Blue Lodge. Now, all these different colors got meanings to them, right? Look. See this? Disarray. These are dishes. These are candles. Right? Now, this is a hookah pipe. You can't mistake these but anything but as what you call Islamic Moors or Ottomans. This is them. Look at what they look like now. Jewish community, Ottoman Empire. You see the difference? That's because they used the grafted devil in order to make them. That's the grafted devil right there. The half satanic Jewish Moor that masqueraded as a white boy in order to put white people up to do their dirt. Dirty bastards. Look, blacks ruled Egypt, Europe. Black king. By the way, this black king right here, this crown right here is a Norseman crown, a Viking crown. So he was a king of via kings. He sent kings out on the ocean as seafarers. Look, can't make this shit up. This is a white boy head. The body right there with the buzzards. Look at him examining it. Now look, this is the coat of arms, right? This is Hawaii. This is the Moorish coat of arms from Hawaii. They don't look pale to me. He don't look pale to me either. That bird is from the islands. That means she's an islander. But she's dressed in what you call noble attire. This is not like a king or a queen. This is like a statesman or a noble. This is how they dress. Regular Africans or servants or slaves didn't dress like that. Look. This is their depiction of the crucifixion in the 1650s. He black, they black, they black. So you got Mary, Mary, and Martha. No, you got Mary, Mary, and Martha. His two wives, his mother, and this is the Roman soldier. Look.